Hello, I'm Bill Lampton, the Biz Communication Guy. Welcome to the Biz Communication Show, where every week I help you become acquainted, as I have, with top communication authorities whose tips, strategies, guidelines, and materials can help us with our business development, growth, and our profits. Today, I have a wonderful privilege of interviewing Mike Stewart. He lists himself as president of Sound Pages. And in fact, I noticed today on LinkedIn, he says this about himself. I'm an internet marketing consultant, trainer, and coach. I'm a music composer and provide original music for online video and audio. I build WordPress websites and teach 15 strategies to help small businesses of all kinds convert more strangers to customers by understanding what works in local online search and the power of online video and blogging. First time I met my good buddy Mike Stewart was 1997. I was very new in the professional speaking, coaching, and training business. I was attending the Georgia chapter of the National Speakers Association. Mike Stewart walks up to me and says, "Hey, buddy, you got a website?" And I thought, well, of course I have a website. I mean, everybody's got one now. He said, well, when you really want a good one, get back in touch with me. So what happened was I started looking at other people's websites and I realized, no, I really don't have a website. I went to Mike as the expert, and believe me, he has been an expert for me ever since in so many ways. So now I'm happy to bring onto the screen for all of us to enjoy and benefit from Mike Stewart, formerly based in Gainesville, Georgia, now in Nashville, where he combines his love of music and technology. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for the glowing intro, and that's just awesome that we've had a relationship for all these years. And I want to put a little addendum to that. First time I very timidly came up to you as a speaker and said, do you have a website that has sound? That was the thing that was setting me apart 20 years ago, is that I used to go to speakers and I thought, well, if you're a speaker and I can't hear you at your website, like many speakers did back then, they would have beautiful websites and nice brochure sites, but the connotation of being a speaker, they weren't using the technology 20 years ago of sound. And that's in fact why I named my company Sound Pages, web pages with sound. That's what I started with, being an audio engineer and a composer and a proponent of audio development. But then 20 years later, let's move forward. Look at what we're doing here. You're conducting a television show over the internet, and that's why video is my passion, with music and really all aspects of broadcast, radio, TV. Those are the technologies that now the pipeline is not the air, not antennas, it's the internet. Everything that you could do in the 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s when broadcast was in its infancy, now you can do with the internet, but it's available to everyone. Whereas back in those days, it was even $1 million investment in the 50s to build a television station. And now here we're doing it just with our computers from the convenience of our homes. So I know you have some questions. And obviously, I'm talking and I can't shut up, so I need to listen to the questions.
Well, Mike, getting back to your comment about you convinced speakers that they needed sound on their websites, I can still remember, even though that was 1997, the way you convinced me about that. You said, "Hey, Bill, what if you were an author? Wouldn't you have samples of your writing on your website for people to see?" And it was a perfect analogy, and it was very convincing. Well, Mike, you've indicated all of us have come a long way in what we have learned and what we can do and what we have access to. And 20 years ago, I would never have dreamed I would be hosting you on audio, much less video audio combination. So let me ask this. We have so many marketers who say, well, the key is for you to publish as many quality articles as you can. Content is king. And then we have people who say, oh no, that might be good, but what you really need is podcasting. Podcasting has come on well. People want to hear you, and they can hear you in their car while they're driving along. So you ought to do podcasting. But Mike, you have become first the internet audio guy and now the internet video guy. You teach video in many ways. Why is it you're convinced that every serious marketer, every person who wants their business to flourish, why are you convinced that video is something that is essential?
Well, my answer to that question is number one, content will always be king. And so there are really three types of content that people can create. And obviously, writing articles, writing text still works. And podcasting is not just audio. Podcasting can be video, but podcasting can be audio alone. So audio content. But then if there's a king of content, uh, it's video. And here's the reasons why. Um, Video is mobile centric, meaning that it works on cell phones, tablets, computers. People can watch video anywhere. They can listen to audio anywhere, and they can read on all these devices. So content can be distributed to all the devices. However, statistics are showing, if Cisco, the people that developed the technology, the hardware for the internet, has said that by 2020, that 80% of the content consumed online is going to be just video. And it's a psychological thought process. People will watch and listen faster with the touch of a button than they'll scroll and read, especially on a cell phone. It's easier to watch a video and consume content when they just hit the play button, and then the visual images, and the audio, and then of course what I call the 5 elements of video can bring content to the brain. So comprehension, consumption, and relationships. It's really hard to build a relationship with a paragraph of text. I could read a beautifully written paragraph of text that you've written, or I could read something that any famous author has written, Emerson or whatever. I'm not going to see their body language. I'm not going to see their face. I'm not going to hear their voice. I'm not going to hear their inflections. I'm not going to see their gestures. There's so many things that you can do visually to build relationships and relationships of trust. And when it comes to being a marketer, we buy from people we know, like, and trust. And it's so much easier to build relationships with people that you know, like, and trust, because you're seeing them talking to you and explaining and delivering content. And more importantly, you have the ability to explain so much more because you have the audio element and you have the visual element demonstrating. It's, one of the things we used to talk about in video. I'd love to see somebody write in a paragraph how to tie a shoe. It's really difficult. Describe the color orange in text. I mean, there's just some things that only can be done in audio and video. So since now we have the option that audio and video content flows seamlessly through the internet to millions and billions of devices, especially mobile devices, it just seems prudent for a marketer to become proficient at creating good video content. And then that's where I come into, because most people are not comfortable doing what you and I are doing. They're not comfortable turning the camera on. The minute the camera gets turned on, they're intimidated. They're not comfortable, and that ruins the communication possibility. I realize I used to have a joke. I have a face for radio. I realize that I'm not Brad Pitt, but I don't care, because what I want to do is I want to build that relationship with people that are watching and listening to me. And with that relationship, I can demonstrate so much content that hopefully after that relationship has elevated to a level of trust, that people will do business with me. And then, when they do business, I get to do what I do, which is be a part of the things I love and help. And I do enjoy. It's not all about just making money. It's also I enjoy seeing people succeed and take their business to the next level because they've overcome these fears of doing video. But that's why video is the king of content. It has so many elements of psychological triggers that can make a difference in building a relationship for whatever the purpose.
I think one of the major points you make there, Mike, that I want to bounce off of is that video helps us get to know the person. As you say, when you read something, well, you know their ideas, but in video, we get to know the person. I remember so well when I was attending those all day or day and a half training seminars that you were putting on. One of the things that you would say to the audience was this: sometimes I go to a meeting talking about yourself, and you say, I walk in and people say, I know you. And you say, oh, have we met? And they said, no, Mike, I know you because I've watched you on video. It brings a personal connection that print or audio just can't do.
Absolutely. I call it, in my world, niche celebrity. I want my customers, my audience, and you're doing the same thing, Bill. The folks that are watching these videos right now know what you look like, know what you sound like, and if you were walking down the street, um, they would feel like they know you. I mean, if a celebrity like Jay Leno or Jimmy Fallon or Justin Timberlake, these are some of the current young artists, but even all the way back to the beginning of movies, if Humphrey Bogart walked down the street, people would recognize him because they'd seen him on the screen in video. Originally it was film and movies, but that's still video. And so we get to share in that on a micro level, which can increase our business. Like a local business owner, a chiropractor or whatever, if he's comfortable making content that people can watch on his website or find in Google or wherever, when they walk into the office, they already feel like they've been there, even though they've never met him before in their life. And I've experienced that many, many times, of people say, I feel like I know you. You look like somebody I can trust to do business with. And that's the purpose of getting comfortable creating this kind of content. So, number one, business owners of all types, especially coaches, speakers, consultants, these are opportunities for you to build that trust to where you can get, a very successful business built. I know that for a fact with some of my other students that they've done that through YouTube, which is the television network to the world. They build relationships that unbeknownst to them, people were watching, consuming their, listening and watching all their content. And then after they did that, and one of the things that's a strategy with your content, you never leave out the opportunity for people to know how to find you. I mean, it's amazing. I'll see people put videos up online and don't mention their websites, their phone numbers, or how to get back in touch with them. So it's an opportunity to prove you have great content, prove that you have solutions for people, that you know your stuff, that you're a trustworthy expert, and then you've earned the right to say, if you want more information, here's where you can find me, whether it be a phone number or a website. And that works for plumbers, chiropractors, consultants, people selling physical products online, or people who are doing consulting, coaching, or selling books or whatever. Those principles work for everybody. So my message today is, make it a commitment. Since if 80% of the content going to be going through the internet within the next 2 to 3 years, and you're not creating video, there's no excuse. You have to get past that hesitancy or reluctancy or whatever it is that's holding you back. And when somebody says, all right, I'm ready to make the commitment to make videos, such as yourself. I mean, you have the equipment, you've made a commitment now, and I applaud you. You made a commitment here to do a regularly scheduled interview with people that are colleagues that have helped you in your business. That's only going to prove the point even more. I mean, and my point is it's never too late to start doing it. And it's if you're a business communication guy, if you're going to communicate your business, get comfortable talking to the lens of a camera.
Mike, I think there's a contrast here that it's important for us to make. I said a few minutes ago that when I first became one of your strong advocates and learned what a great resource you were, I remember still signing up and attending a 1.5-day seminar that you directed in downtown Atlanta. The purpose of it was to teach people how to produce video. I came away with 30 pages of notes I'd written. And at that time, the software that you recommended we use because it was the best available, I had a checklist of 18 steps that I had to take to produce a video. Explain to us how it's not that complicated anymore. And instead of taking a 1.5 days to learn video, under expert instruction, you can learn it very quickly and the same day be producing videos.
Well, absolutely. The thing is I got excited about the fact that 15 years ago, that the internet would deliver video. However, it was primitive back then, and there was a lot of naysayers, because it's easier just to say I don't want to do that and say it doesn't work than to go through the learning curve. And you're right. The best that we had 15 years ago were hard to use video cameras. Was hard to very complicated software. Only ran on a computer. There were so many things that just made it really difficult. And that's why so many people 15 years ago gave up, even though they would attend. You're one of those people that was one in the minority, because a lot of people would go through those trainings and just say, "Oh my gosh, this is just too hard. There's too many steps. There's too many moving parts." Like you said, 18 steps from an idea to something that actually played back on the internet as video. So it was complicated, limited, and was limited to just computers. Well, the thing that really has made it so easy, and one of the things about 5 years ago that I was just excited about, is the fact that when the mobile phones, the iPhone and the Androids came out, they made the software simpler because they wanted it to be usable by everyone. And that's what's made the difference. The mobile internet, the mobile device, the phone. I mean, one of the biggest questions I used to get was, what camera do you use? Well, you can see there, my phone is a camera. And I mean, I can hit one button and start shooting video. And then they make it one button touch to get it up online on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, there's a few extra steps to make more use out of it. But what I discovered is the software on these phones, and it's interesting. They call on a phone, they don't call it software; they call it apps. Well, there is the iMovie app, which is an editing program that allows you to, with just your fingers and a couple of touches, you can make some incredible television. And that's what's changed, is the fact that the software is is cheap. I mean, the iMovie app is free on the iPhone for new iPhones. I used to recommend for the last 5 years the iPad, because what I liked about using an iPad versus an iPhone, it was just a bigger screen, so you could see things. But technically, there's no difference between the iPhone and the iPad. And then, the Android tablet came out. Basically, that's competing with the iPhone. Now there's the Windows Surface. So the biggest question I used to give is, what camera do I use? And well, the camera's built into the device. You don't need to buy a camera. Or what software do I use? Well, the software is dirt cheap and easy to learn. Easy to learn. In fact, I recommend everybody with an iPhone download the iMovie app right now. If you're an Android user, download the Power Director app. If you're a Windows Surface user, download the Filmora app. And they're dirt cheap or free, and they can do everything that complicated software did years ago, 20, 15 years ago, but it's a lot simpler. They had to make it simpler because you're not controlling it with a mouse, you're controlling with your fingers. And so they had to make it simpler, but it's still very powerful. So that's what's changed from the day you went to that. You had the desire to communicate with video back when it was hard, and now you had to see the transitions that's what I try to keep up with, is the fact that, I sold all my cameras. I don't even own a video camera anymore. There's no need to. These phones and these devices have better cameras than the video cameras I own. And I don't even use my computer software to edit anymore. I do it all on my phone or my iPad. So it's just because technology has moved forward and made it simpler, easier, and portable and mobile and accessible to everyone.
Mike, I've done the same thing. I gave away my cameras to my brother recently. I didn't need them, which brings up another very vital point. Okay, it's much, much simpler to produce video, to learn how to do it. And secondly, it is so infinitely less expensive. I remember in your most recent webinar that I listened to, you said the cameras you once used were about $3,000 for a camera.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I started, they were called prosumer, Sony, Canon, different manufacturers of video cameras, or they were called camcorders. And there were different formats. They recorded to tape. They were digital. But I mean, I had the cameras I bought 15 years ago were $2,500 a piece, and I had 3 of them. And it was, it was a major investment. And by broadcast television standards, it was still considered, they didn't even call it professional. They called it prosumer. It was like, yeah, it's approaching professional, but it's still a consumer product. And the cameras in this phone are better than cameras that made television shows in the 90s. I mean, the quality of these cameras that they're building and the miniaturization is just phenomenal. So equipment's not the issue. Editing is not the issue, because anybody can learn editing. What they have got to learn is comfort in telling the story, comfort in looking at the lens of a camera, and comfort at, just saying, hey, it's okay to make mistakes, start doing it. And, there's little things that you can do to make it better. I mean, I'm using a professional microphone here that gets good audio. I don't have lighting set up in this room. Your lighting is a little better than mine, because I've got you can see some blue glare from my computer screen. Let me turn that off and see if that improves the picture a little bit. Nah, it didn't really do much, because I got 2 monitors. But, the thing is I can see that, even with this video, it's not perfect. But you know what? That's not what's important. This is content, and it's accomplishing what you need to do. And it's amazing that this is a webcam on my computer working here with Zoom, and it's a decent image. It works. So the thing I tell people, and it's for me, in fact, it's also good that it's not perfect television, because if you do it to the degree of technical quality that the networks do, 1, the equipment's very expensive. 2, it requires experience in lighting and a whole lot of other logistical things. And then that intimidates folks to the point where they'll go, well, if I got to learn to be that good, it's just not worth learning. This is not hurting the content that it's not lit perfectly. It's not hurting the content that, I'd like to get my hair a little better there. But at the end of the day, just do it. Get, simple equipment and get comfortable communicating content in the video format, because that's what people want to consume. They want to watch, listen, and consume content that they can hear and watch, and become great storytellers, which that has nothing to do with technology. That comes back to what you do, Bill, is how to communicate your message to make sure that you don't leave any stone unturned.
Well, I've got both of us on the screen now, Mike, because we're getting near the end of, that old clock just keeps moving when we're having fun, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But let me ask this question as a closing question. Okay, we follow your advice. We know that video is simpler. We know that it's less expensive. And I use iMovie that you recommend. Somebody really doesn't need a whole lot of instruction. If you get that iMovie app, it tells you what to do. It's almost self-instructive. Now, the question that I have, which has to be a closing question, okay, we produce videos. Where do we post them? What are some of the places that you recommend our videos should show up?
Well, number one, you should have a central website where you can post all of your great content. So in other words, you need to have a website that's very easy for you to, when you create a piece of video content, that it can be archived through a whole library at your website. So that if somebody discovers your website through whatever method you get people to find you, then they have a whole library of you. So that's one of the reasons I recommend, if this terminology doesn't mean something to you, then this is a reason why you're going to need to learn it, but you can research it on Google. You want to have a blog. You want to have a website that has the ability for you to post content on a regular basis. And you can embed the video content in a blog post. So if you made a commitment to do content once a week, twice a week, once a month is better than never at all. But something very valuable content on a regular basis, and the more the better. There's no limitation. I know people who do content every day. So at the end of the year, they have 365 videos, 365 pieces of content, and 365 new pages on their website in blog posts. So number one, repurpose that content on your website. Repurpose those videos in YouTube. In fact, one of the things I recommend to people is upload the video to YouTube and then embed the video as a blog post. And then the amazing power of social media is that you could take that same piece of video content, upload it to Facebook, and make it a Facebook social media post on a Facebook page, a Facebook group, or in Facebook you've got areas. You've got what's called your personal profile. That's your login. But for business, you want to post it on a page or in a public group or a private group, and hopefully people will share it with each other. And then, of course, you have the ability to do LinkedIn articles, and you can embed that video in a LinkedIn article. So there's another social media area. And then the younger generation loves Instagram and Snapchat. I don't know how much for our generation that's as important. And Twitter, you can get people to if you have a Twitter following, you can say, go back and watch my video from a link in Twitter, and you can share. So in other words, what you're doing is you're making one piece of content, and the real answer is put it everywhere, because you never know how somebody's going to find it. Another way to repurpose that same piece of video content is that you can put it in iTunes as a podcast. Yes, the video will work in iTunes, so that if you get subscribers, it's all about getting eyeballs and ears to your content. And so you don't just put it in any one place, you put it everywhere, and make sure that that it's titled in such a way that if somebody doesn't know you, they can find it, and it's so good that people want, they go, oh my gosh, what a great piece of content, I'm going to share that with my friends. And that's the power of social media. So at the end of the day, I guess the answer is, rather than, I want to do a little bit more detailed answer than say put it everywhere. Those are the everywheres that are available now, and who knows what's going to be here in the next few years to come.
One comment I'd make on that, Mike, before I ask for your contact information, one comment I would make is that one mistake a video producer might make is to think, well, I can't post that video. It's Thursday. I put it on there Monday and everybody's seen it. No, everybody didn't see it. And some people might have seen that you posted it then, but they were not able to take the time to look at it. So repurposing is not confined to the day you do it.
Oh, absolutely. There is no timestamps if it's evergreen content. A video that you did a year ago could bring you a customer.
Mike, this has been absolutely fascinating, as dealing with you always is. I believe I could easily be your exhibit A, because I'm a guy, I always say about Mike Stewart, he's the guy who got me away from the number 2 pencil. And you knew that I came into the world of technology kicking and screaming, and you dragged me. Yet once you helped me get over that hurdle, probably nobody enjoys technology more than I do. It's a major part of my work. It's a central part of my business, and I truly enjoy it. And believe me, my friend, I have enjoyed talking with you and helping others get access to your vast knowledge. Tell us, Mike, please, your contact information.
Well, number one, if you want to learn more about what I'm up to, you can go to MikeStewartPodcast.com. That has, like what you're doing here, it has content that I feel is relevant and will help folks. And it's just an opportunity to where you can learn more about what I'm doing. And there's also contact information there. And more, but more importantly, that's where I want people to go is go to MikeStewartPodcast.com. And my latest offering is that I'm excited about the 3 mobile devices, the iPhone, Android, and Windows Surface. So I have a new website called masteringmobilevideo.com. And I invite you to take a look at that. And that's the best way to get in touch with me. There's links there with phone numbers and ways to submit emails. And I always respond to folks that reach out to me. So I appreciate you having me today, Bill. And if I can ever be of service to anyone, please reach out and check it out.
Mike, a real pleasure and a privilege and a real opportunity to have you on the Biz Communication Show. Thanks to all of you who joined us. Be with us every week when, again, we will bring you strategies, tips, guidelines, and examples that will help you with your business, and your business will profit more. And as Mike gave his contact information, I invite you to visit my website to find out about the services that I offer as a consultant and as a speech coach. My website is Biz, that's B-I-Z, bizcommunicationguy.com. Thanks to everybody. See you next week.